18 days to go.
Yep. Counting down.
So, if you don't mind, how did you get involved in Extreme E? How did the conversations between you and Nico start?
Yeah, well, I was part of the drivers program with Extreme E. So when I saw, basically been following what Extreme E were doing, and then when the opportunity came to be part of their drivers program, I very much wanted to be part of it in some form. And then following that, I got an email, actually, just an email inquiry through my website from Nico Rosberg, and it was a very short email that basically just said, it's Nico Rosberg here, can we talk about Extreme E? And I thought someone was having a joke. I didn't believe that Nico Rosberg was really sending me an email. So anyway, we arranged to talk, and next minute he was FaceTiming me and realised that it wasn't a prank, and it was a bit of a pinch yourself moment, I think.
Oh dear. So you've been part of the program. That's why. So obviously, what they were doing with the build up, with the clean up and the environmental issues, that's why you thought you'd become more involved. Yeah,
that's certainly one of the reasons wanting to be part of Extreme. From a racing side, driving all electric vehicles in all these different locations is really appealing. But I think the broader message and the purpose behind the whole series is just really appealing, and I think it's nice to be able to, as a motorsport driver with motorsport as your passion, be able to do that in a way that's actually making a difference and being part of the solution. So I think that's really powerful, and just being at the pioneering edge, I guess, of how motorsport can look in the future. It's pretty cool to be a part of the ground zero of all that, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was it like the first time you drove the car?
It's really cool. I think obviously the torque of the electric engines is something that's different to a normal combustion engine. So, and then the other thing is it all being very silent. So getting that calibration of the speed that you're doing, especially when you're in such a big car as well, which needs more time to pull up on the other side too. So getting used to all the different noises, and you hear a lot more of the gravel and things like that from coming up underneath the car that you wouldn't normally hear in a rally car. So getting your senses tuned into that, I suppose, was one of the first impressions. But just having all that power exactly when you want it, and even for a big car, I was really surprised at how car-like it was to drive. So it was a lot of fun. And I think when we get it out into all the different off-road terrains as well, we're going to really see the car in all its elements. I'm excited about trying it in those conditions.
So what is it like? So obviously, like you're saying, when you're in a rally car, you can hear when you're changing gear, you can really get a feel for the road. So how is it working with electric?
Yeah, so electric, we don't have a gearbox like we would in a traditional car with the shift lights and the rev limiter and hearing the revs of the engine. So a lot of your driving normally is guided by hearing the engine revs, and that's telling you what gear you're going in and all that sort of thing. Whereas with the electric car, it's just throttle and brake and go. So it's a bit more like a PlayStation, a lot less to think about from the driver controls. But then you've got different elements because you've got all that torque. So it's managing that delivery of the torque as you're coming out of the corners, and making sure that you're maximizing your traction and that sort of thing, and getting used to the different noises. I think, I probably was a bit surprised about how quickly that came. It's just, I suppose, like doing anything different, like jumping from right-hand drive in Australia to left-hand drive. When you go over there, you sort of hop in, you're like, oh, everything's a bit different, and then you do a couple laps and you're away. It's all good.
So what do you think the biggest challenges are going to be that you're going to face when you're driving? Is it terrain? Is it just the power of the car on different surfaces?
I think the fact that we don't know is probably the biggest challenge because it's going to be a new environment, a new format, racing alongside all the other cars. We don't know what the course is going to be, so there's so many unknowns, which makes it a challenge for sure, but also very exciting because we're all going to be on this journey together. So I think that we'll have a better idea of what to expect after the first round, I suppose. But we're off on a big adventure until then.
Good, good. How have you been able to prepare for this during lockdown? I don't know. Where have you been based? Are you at home in Australia or?
Yeah, so after our test in Spain, I came back home. So I spent a lovely 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year in a hotel room in Australia, and
Oh, lovely.
yeah, but lucky enough since then we've been relatively open, so I've been able to more or less do lots of things in between. So I've done a little bit of driving in an off-road buggy, so not quite like the Extreme E car, but at least it's seat time. And also be testing our Subaru WRX rally car that I drive here in Australia as well. So just trying to get some seat time in anything, just to try and keep the eye in, I guess, and keep sharp, because it's all going to be about that that one fast lap that we have to do.
Of course, yeah, that's right. Because you're doing one lap, and then Johan's going to be doing a lap. That's the setup, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Exciting. On that, so it's based around, it's basically a team sport, isn't it? So it's not like drivers' championships, things like that. It's just a championship with a team. Do you think there's going to be any rivalry between you two? Like you can do a lap quicker, or?
I think for sure we're both going to be trying to push as hard as we can, and I think that's a great thing, because we're both in it together. It's we can both benefit us as a team. So I think it's a great opportunity to have, especially for me, someone with the caliber like Johan's driving record speaks for itself. So I think I'm very excited personally from my driving career-wise to be able to have someone like that as your teammate and act as a bit of a mentor. And I'm sure I can learn a lot from him. I'm not sure what he's going to learn from me, but hey, we'll give it a go.
You're selling yourself a bit short there, but.
But yeah, it's certainly going to make us stronger as a team, having that dynamic, and then also the Rosberg X Racing team have pedigree of winning, and also obviously Nico is quite a good person to have in our camp for sure.
Is there a particular race that you're looking most forward to? Is it the first race? Is it?
Yeah, I don't really know. I think they're all really exciting. I've never been to South America, and that's always been on my bucket list. So I am very excited about going and doing the 2 events over there. So I think from a location perspective, that's just somewhere that's always been on my bucket list. But I think it's they've picked such a diverse range of locations that each one in itself is going to be really awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I really appreciate your time, taking time to speak with us. I know you've got a very busy morning of a lot more of these sort of calls, haven't you?
All good. Thanks for chatting.
Okay. All right. Well, no, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, would there be opportunities for us to talk after the first race at all?
Yeah, I'm sure Joe's been great at hooking all these up, so I'm sure he'll be more than helpful.
Good stuff. Okay, Molly, thank you so much, and hopefully I'll